show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
The time is now. The time is now. The time is now. I'm Trent, and this is Vision Preparedness. The time is now. The time is now.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Turmoil Tuesday. But guess what, y'all? We're going to try not to be too turmoilless today. How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody is doing well. We got an amazing guest with us today, folks. I am honored, as always. Good to see everybody. My man, Mad Chad, Dan H., thank you for the 5x5. Hello to everybody. I can't speak to everybody because I'm so excited to get our guest up here. And without further ado, folks, I want to bring up my friend, Eric, the CEO of Nutrient Survival. Good to see you, sir. How are you this evening?
Trent, the time is now, brother.
Yes,
How are you?
I'm doing well. And yourself?
Oh man, I couldn't be better. And this is the highlight of my day. I've got to tell you, it is awesome to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for accepting. Thank you for being here. Folks, if y'all don't know Eric, crawl out from under the rock and go over to Nutrient Survival's website. Go over to their YouTube channel where you can see everything that Eric and his crew do over there for sure. Eric, I when we talked about this, I was speechless. So let's talk about qualifiers for buying land, and then I'll let you get into what you guys are doing over Nutrient Survival.
All right. Okay. Let's do it.
So, folks in the chat, I know a lot of you are homesteaders. You live out in the middle of nowhere like I, or you're looking to buy that perfect piece of property. So, some of the things I was pondering this, and the first thing that I thought of was a water source, pond, stream, least case, worst case, well water. Because we all know 3 days without water, you got problems going on. So definitely natural resources would be my top concern. And, Eric, I know out there in Nevada, water is essential.
It is essential. Where I'm in northern Nevada, and right in front of our headquarters runs the Truckee River, and that is fed from Lake Tahoe. And we're very fortunate. It keeps things very lush. The Washoe Valley has irrigation from Lake Tahoe come down to it every year. So we're very, very fortunate. We're not like Southern Nevada or the Mojave Desert out in that area. But water, yeah, and running water is probably even better. Although if it's running, that means somebody can probably cut it off up top, up sooner. So you need to have maybe multiple different sources of water. But the other thing you're getting at was water for not only daily subsistence and staying hydrated and alive, but also water that can help your crops. So you need arable land. You have to have fertile land, fertile property where you can homestead and you can grow. Some places are very, very difficult. Even out here, you put a tomato plant out on the porch and it just gets sucked dry, because of the air, just, osmosis or whatever is happening in the air. And you can't keep those things supple with water. So anyway, arable property is also an essential part of being able to sustain yourself over a period of time.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah. What else you got on the list?
So second of all would be some type of renewable resource. Woods, trees, if you heat your home by firewood, that is definitely a must, especially if you're in areas during the winter months where, it gets cold, plain and simple. Here on our property, it's all woods. So I've got wood to last for the next couple of generations.
There you go. That's it.
Yeah. Even though we burn wood only in the wintertime, I would love to get a wood burning kitchen stove.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Those are awesome. My grandma used to have one, and actually in my folks' house that we were just kind of talking about before we got there, we have a wood burning stove as well. They are awesome. And if you have property with wood, you need to be thinking about, okay, you don't want to have to go out and cut down a tree that's green. So you need to have, just like layers of preps, layers of readiness for your wood. And what does your wood stack look like? It seems like common sense, but you don't want to wait until the day you need it. Not only is green wood difficult to burn, it also creates quite a signature, as you know. And that's something you got to be thinking about as well.
Yep, absolutely. And like here, we go through maybe a cord of wood a winter. And I've got trees that are down that have fallen on their own or storms or whatever that, I just let lay.
That's it.
And we're just now starting to cut those and get them ready to split, to stack, to let them dry out completely throughout the whole summer. So yeah, you definitely have to plan your wood source, folks.
That's right. So
another
mostly for fuel. For
fuel. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Also for concealment. Maybe cover.
Yes, concealment for sure, because that's the one reason why I picked the property I picked, because in the summertime, you cannot see our house from the road because there's trees. It's tree lined and deep woods, and you can't see the property.
Perfect.
Yeah.
What a piece of property.
So, folks, those are things. Let put in the chat, folks. What are some of the things that you would do or want when looking to purchase land yourself? So Jennifer says she goes through 13 cords of wood per winter.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder, where's Jennifer at? Holy smokes.
I think Jennifer's in Canada, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, no wonder. It gets cold up there.
Yes, absolutely. But, those are the things that some people may not think about when they're actually looking to buy a piece of land. They may just buy land to buy and then build on it. Is the ground sustainable for vegetation to grow crops, a garden?
Right.
Instead of, if it's rocky or sandy, you got to take all that into account within your observation of what you're going to purchase.
That's right. One thing I also think about is, and I kind of mentioned this when you're talking about the woods on your property that conceal your home and some of your other effects. But defense is an important one too. And maybe not. We're not talking about a like active offense, but a defensive position where you're up maybe a little bit of elevation, see things coming. Again, if we're talking about a bug out location, where do you want to be in the low or do you want to be in the high? And every battle that I've ever studied has always said the high ground. You want the high ground for a lot of reasons. And you have to also be careful not to put your house up on or your personal things, or even show your silhouette up at the top of a hill.
Right.
You want to be a bit of a defilade position and keep your silhouette below that ridge line. Keep your home's silhouette below that ridge line. I think that'll be an important aspect to be thinking about.
Absolutely.
There you go. Give me the high point. Mm-hmm.
Yes, especially for a defensive position. I'm actually working on some lighting for such an occasion, and that's the key. Because at night, it's night. You don't see a whole lot, but if you have things in place that will alert you to either predators, animals, or trespassers, you have those options as well. It's really, like you said, you don't want to be at the top of the high point, but if you're just high enough where you can look down and see what's going on, and you can keep an eye on pretty much everything that's going on around you, you'll be in a good position.
Right. I never thought of this before, but you could have lookouts that are higher in elevation, and these days, you could probably put some cameras up there that are pretty sophisticated as virtual lookouts for you. People have cameras at the end of the driveway and on their home, and certain positions up in the trees and whatnot. But yeah, you could definitely string that probably a pretty good distance and have a remote lookout working for you 24/7.
Absolutely. Like you said, with these sophisticated cameras that have night vision and all of that, absolutely. You may either have to do a cellular service on it, or, electrical or whatever it is, or powered by solar, which makes great options. Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival says drones work well also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good idea for sure. You got to be pretty talented to run one of those these days, although they're getting better and better, aren't they?
Yes, they are. And he is a drone pilot. So I've seen his work and his videos. He's good. He's very good.
Yep.
But, another thing is livestock. Can you have other buildings on the property that can serve as offense and defense positions, as well as, if you have livestock, it houses them as well.
That's interesting for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
The thing that gets me, I recall the last Rambo movie. He was in Arizona on his dad's farm.
Mm-hmm.
He dug tunnels all throughout the property.
He's got to have some time in his hands. Now, you're pretty serious for sure. For sure. Without I think you're right. Animals, livestock, that's an important aspect. If you're not, you should have a garden, certainly, and homesteaders know this. And you got to be thinking about how do you keep your animals healthy and warm and fed and all those things. It brings up the question for me around how far away should you be from maybe an urban center or maybe a town, maybe from, call it, legitimate supply lines. Right. Assuming there will still be a trickle if and when you need to bug out or head to your remote undisclosed location.
Right.
Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's like, how far do you have to drive to resupply, or do you have resupply lines along the way? Here, we're about 20 minutes away from the nearest town, so it's not that bad. So, you got to think about that. Unless you are literally 100% self-sustainable. And, that's the ultimate goal when you homestead, to be 100% sustainable. But, how far are you away from a supply line if necessary? Because that could be an issue. And like you said, when there's a trickle, that's critical. Can you get there in time to get there, get your resupply, and get back? Yeah.
That's right.
Some other things, how far are you away from the big city that may be burning and on fire? Where are all those people going to go?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Are they coming our way or in an opposite direction?
Well, I think in a survival situation, if you're in an urban setting, you have but one choice. You either stay and die, or you start walking and
Right.
and looking, foraging. I'm talking complete end of the world scenario,
Right.
where things are completely incapacitated. So
Yeah.
you've got only one choice, and your natural instinct is going to be survival. So you're going to start walking, and yeah, if you're the first home they run into in 5 minutes, well,
Yeah.
then you're going to get hit first. But if it's going to take them 2 days to get to you,
Yeah.
then you should feel a little bit better about it, right?
Exactly.
In our country, every time I fly over our country and go from east to west or north to south, I am just amazed at how expansive the United States is. There are a lot of places for us to get out and get away without having to see anybody for days
Right.
and days. The flip side of that is, though,
Mhm.
you've lived in Ohio for how long?
All my life.
All your life. So the
Yeah.
familiarity with the climate, with the outdoors, with the wildlife, everything. I'm not just talking about roads and where the cities are, but
Right.
with truly surviving. You've
Mhm.
got a much better chance of surviving in Ohio than you do out here in the high desert of Nevada.
Right.
Okay, you're going to die out here, Trent. I'm going to outrun you, and I'm going to outlast you out here. But you're going to smoke me if it were mano a mano in the
Right.
woods of Ohio.
Right. Exactly. And that's the thing, especially if you're relocating to a different state. There's more things you have to take into consideration, just like you said. Climate itself can kill you, but everybody should take that into consideration. Like you said, I would know I know how to survive, but you would definitely out survive me in your home state, just like I would out survive you in my home state.
I've
Yeah.
got a lot of learning to do, but I think you got a
You
little
and me
bit of a head
both.
start, right? The
Yeah.
familiarity, I think, is the key to this one.
Yes. Hudson Valley said, 100 miles he's 100 miles away from New York City, and he's rural.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's the thing. How many people, if you're in a metropolitan city, are going to make it 100 miles away from the city, first of all, or wherever they may live?
Right. I think most people could probably do 20 miles a day, maybe,
Yep.
if they didn't have anything on their back.
Right.
I say most people, but this is probably, these days, most people probably couldn't. But I think if you're a fit person, you probably can go 20 a day. You'll be smoked. So,
Yeah.
but if you think about where Hudson Valley Prepping is, wherever he is, somewhere up in the Hudson Valley, beautiful area up there. I know it. I know it well. My rock-bound Highland home on the bank of the Hudson. But you're talking 5 days. Now, there's a lot of little cities in and around the Hudson Valley en route to New York City.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about the hordes coming after you, you got a little bit of time in between you.
Right. And if you have people, a community where everybody can get together in one location, you have a better chance of defending the homestead, the bug out location, whatever it may be, which is critical. How far away would somebody have to travel to get to you to help?
Mm-hmm.
And are they familiar with the territory as well? That's key. But
that is key. You know,
it,
the one thing that's in, sorry to interrupt, the one thing
no,
that
you're fine.
is a benefit of being near an urban city, aside from supply lines, is, is medical.
Yes.
But you don't need that because, you're well versed in it.
That's one of the top 5 things to prep is medical. How far away do you have to go? Of course, all the hospitals will either be closed, shut down, or burning. So, in that finding your people, if you can come across a doctor, a nurse, an STNA, or know it yourself, learn the skills, you'll be much better off. And that's one of the things that myself and every other preparedness channel on YouTube talk about. That's key, is medical. As well as communication. Can you, if necessary, put up an antenna on your property that is disguised that you can still communicate with a ham radio, CB radio with people in your group? That's why I love the trees here. I've got 40, 50, 60-foot trees that I can run a cable up the tree and you'll never know there's an antenna there. But communication is key. Are you line of sight, especially like you talked about? If you're up instead of down in a valley, you're going to be able to communicate much better with your people or whoever you may need to talk to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the other nice benefit of being in a place that's got a little bit of elevation. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to be 10,000 feet. Elevation in Ohio is, 1,000 feet is probably some pretty good elevation in Ohio.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, so what does that look like? But you want to be able to, from a comm standpoint, from a vigilance standpoint, there's so many benefits of elevation for sure.
Yes.
When I was in Panama, I carried a radio on my back. I carried a GPS. Back in the day, the GPS was probably about this big. It was a big square box, probably weighed about 5-6 pounds. And you had one. And as the fire support officer, you were endowed with the responsibility to help calibrate where you were with that GPS when you could, but you could never get a signal. When you're under the jungle canopy, you could never get a signal on that GPS. So you would have to seek out a high point, a clearing point, and try to pick up at least 3 satellites to get to get a flat reference point.
Right.
So, that's the way they work. You need more satellites, the better. So they all triangulate and say, this is exactly where you are, but you need at least 3. And that won't give you elevation, but it might give you, your grid coordinate. But the same thing applies for your radios, for your communications. You've got to get out of that foliage, out from under the cover, canopy in order to pick up a signal.
Absolutely. They talk about grid down. Ham radio will be available, but do you know where your local repeaters are, or will you have to put a repeater up yourself, or find some other means of communication to stay in touch with your people? So that's another thing to take into consideration when looking for a piece of property.
Right on.
Yeah. And there she is right there. Hi, Becky. Welcome. 15-minute prepper city with all professionals on hand. That's where I'm headed. A bug out prepper timeshare bunker underground community. Did I win?
Yeah, right. They do exist.
They do.
Fortitude Ranch, right?
Yes, yeah. Fortitude Ranch. I don't know how well they're doing, but it does exist.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So, Eric, I explain to the folks this amazing thing that you guys are doing at Nutrient Survival. I put a post about it on our community tab, but I can't do it justice. So please explain this to the folks, please.
Okay. Well, Trent, you were absolutely the first. Can I call you an influencer?
Yes, sir.
first influencer that we've talked to about this idea with their audience, and so you get the we get to crack the champagne over the Vision Preparedness Titanic here. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
this is pretty cool. You are a maiden voyage. I think the really cool thing is we've been talking a lot, Trent, about what do you look for in a location, in a place where you can head out and ensure that your family's safe, that you're able to sustain yourself for a period of time. Now, so those are all physical attributes largely that provide a benefit, obviously to sustain your life and help you survive. But absent of that, if you think about it, one of the best things, the most amazing things about a piece of property is that it's yours, and that you are free. It is part of the American dream, right? To own a piece of property, to own a piece of America, to own your own home, to say this is mine, and I'm going to do it my way on this piece of property. No trespassing. This is mine. You're on my property. We're doing it my way. Okay, and that feeling of ownership and freedom is something that is uniquely American. I'm convinced of that. It's uniquely American, and our slogan, just like yours, is "It is time." Right? Our slogan is "Feed your freedom," and so what we are serious about is putting our money where our mouth is, and that's why I think I'm so excited about what the marketing team came up with to get people excited about this opportunity. And so what we're doing, Trent, is we are giving away a piece of freedom. And that means we're giving away a piece of land.
Nice.
Have you ever heard anything like that?
No, never in my life. And when I saw the email from Becky, I was speechless for like 2 minutes. I said, there's no what? Yeah.
Yes, it is true. A piece of land. And you would be inspired and amazed if you went to our website and you looked at what you could get. Okay, of course, we got to put a limit on this thing. But it's so easy. If you're a customer of ours, you don't even know that you've entered already because it started on April 1st, and it's automatic entry for every purchase, one promise, one opportunity. And we're going to run this thing for about 6 months and gather all those entries, and then we're going to pick a winner. It is a sweepstakes. We'll pick a winner. You don't have to purchase anything to enter. You can send in a stamped envelope. Check out the official rules. It details exactly what you need to do if you just want to enter that way. But we want to get as many entries as we can so that you can have a chance to win a piece of freedom that you can call your own. And you can do all those things that we just talked about.
Yeah. I just put a link in the chat to win a piece of land. It is our partner link, and you have to go see it. That's all. I can't do it justice because when I looked at this, Eric, I was blown away.
Yeah. I mean, I've never seen any other company do anything this cool. Yeah. It's such a unique idea in its own right, and it's so consistent with what we believe here at Nutrient Survival. We're not just, as you know, we're not just a survival company. Right. We're a freedom company, and we happen to sell survival food. We happen to sell emergency food, but freedom, American values, that is what we believe in. Self-reliance, individual responsibility, the freedom from governmental forces, and the ability to just live our lives fully as the way the good Lord in heaven intended us to.
Absolutely. And folks, it's just not a piece. They give you a choice, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, so this is maybe one of the confusing things about the way the website is set up. So you can pick any piece of freedom, any piece of land, and it goes back to that familiarity thing that you want. Okay, so there's some examples on the website. I think I have 4 or 5 examples of what you can get from the sweepstakes. But if you want it, in your backyard, or you want to build an additional complex and pick up a piece of land that's close to you, Trent, you can do that too. You don't have to. You don't have to get the 10 acres in Colorado. You don't have to get the 20 acres in Texas, or I think you can get 2 or 3 acres in California. Okay?
Right.
So essentially, we're giving you $10,000 towards any piece of land that you wish. You choose.
Folks, you heard it from the man himself. And I know many of you have talked about purchasing, looking for land. What a better way than to get a stipend. I'm doing an air quote from folks that are just listening from Nutrient Survival, $10,000 to go towards the purchase of your land.
That's right. That's right. If it's less than $10,000, I'm still going to write you the full amount for 10. If it's more than 10,000, then it's a nice down payment.
Absolutely.
But get your piece of land. Get your piece of freedom.
Folks, I've never heard of this in my life. I'll say this. Thank you. Because I don't know about y'all, but I've been entered into this apparently because I buy Nutrient Survival regularly. Folks, you have to take advantage of this. No matter where the land is, you find the land. You heard Eric say that. It doesn't have to be their examples of Texas, Colorado, California, or Arizona. It can be in your backyard. It could be your next door neighbor's house that's for sale.
That's right.
Or that farmland down the road.
That's right. That's right. And you don't have to buy it. We'll announce the winner. And then you can, just start looking, start dreaming.
Yeah.
And start entering. Again, we want as many people to participate in this as possible. We want this to be a dream come true. I wish we could give away $1 million, but maybe in 5 years we'll be up to that amount. Right now we're doing what we can. We still think it's pretty cool.
Well, I thank you for doing this, Eric. Myself, I don't know about y'all in the chat, but thank you for this opportunity of freedom, folks.
That's it. That's it.
You can't you have no excuse, folks. It'll just enter the contest. That's all you have to do. Buy some Nutrient Survival. I talk about it all the time, not because they are our best partner. We use the products personally. I don't know what else to say, Eric, other than this is an amazing opportunity. I've never heard of a company doing this.
We're excited about it. Really, really excited about it. Excited to kick it off with you too, Trent, again. And the other thing is, Oki Khan, how you doing? It's been a while since we've had a live. But anyway, the other cool thing that because you invited me on here to share this news, we wanted to give you an exclusive for your audience, the many of which are Wolfpack community as well, is a VP Live 20% off code to get things started. And we're going to keep that going until people stop using it, which probably be a few days.
Thank you.
But anyway, take advantage of that as well. Make it even easier. Save a little bit more money on that purchase. There's a lot of good deals out there, kits, bundles, etc. But use that code VP20 VP Live, and you'll get the 20% off your purchase. Ghost Lincoln, good to see you.
Thank you. Ghost has a question here. He said, Eric, do the subscription orders count towards the entries?
They do. If it's subscription orders, they're automatically getting that entry when it goes through. Thank you for the question. Good one.
Excellent. Yeah, Hudson Valley said, what an amazing giveaway, Eric. Yeah. I'm going to give it to you. You thought of this, didn't you?
Well, I wish I could take credit. I unfortunately did not. I was busy doing other things.
Okay.
But my chief marketing officer, Will Hammond, who I think wishes that he had a piece of freedom, because he lives in LA. We have only a couple of folks that are remote, and he's actually here in the office this week. Great guy, and is a legitimate one of us. Anyway, he said, you know what? This would be the coolest thing in the world. And we said, wow, that is a big idea. Let's run with that. and let's help our community out. Let's help others out that are of like-mindedness. Now, the thing I forgot to tell you, Trent, not only is a piece of freedom, but we're also going to stock your pantry with 90 days of nutrient survival emergency food. So that's probably another couple $1,000 at least.
Yeah, folks, I want to win. I'm going to declare the winner now. Yeah, that's amazing. 90 days, folks, of nutrient survival food. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. There's no way you can go wrong. I don't care if you buy 2 acres or an acre with a shack on it, folks. It's yours. And to top it off, they're going to give you 90-day supply of nutrient survival food. I don't know how you do it, Eric. I don't, but all I can say is thank you. I'm excited. And folks, I don't know about y'all. I'm excited and,
Right on.
and pretty much speechless, Eric.
Well, I appreciate you having me on, Trent, to announce this with you as our premier kickoff partner. And I'm excited to be affiliated with you and your community, because you're real people, and it's not just for you. It's just not a show. You're doing the real thing. You've got the Bug Out weekend coming up, and that'll be exciting. Hudson Valley will probably be there again, I assume.
Hope so. Yes.
Yep.
I know we talked, and he said that's prom weekend, but he's working it out.
All
plain
right.
and simple.
All right.
And folks, I will say this for those of you that were there last year, and Becky and Eric did us above and beyond. Word has it that they're going to do the same thing this year. So everybody is going to get to have some nutrient survival. Whether you've had it before, if you haven't had it before, you will get some to try. It is absolutely amazing. And if you've had it, you're going to get some more to be able to take home with you, or you could eat it during the weekend, whatever you prefer. But thank you again, Eric and Becky, for donating to the Bug Out weekend. Yeah. And for all of you folks that have entered into the bushcraft hiking cook-off, all I got to say is you got to beat the champ. I've had death threats, Eric. I've had people come to me and say, "I'm taking your title."
It's like beat Bobby Flay, huh? Out in the woods.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool. I love it.
Exactly what it is.
What a great idea. Well, you have Becky to thank for all that. I'm just the guy that gets to say yes. She's amazing. She's got tons of energy and tons of love, certainly for everyone in your community, for you especially. And for all our other partners, she is on top of it and doing everything that we can to help out.
Absolutely, and I truly, again, you guys are an amazing partner. I have never worked with a company where basically we treat each other like family. Becky sends me emails like every other day. Hey, how about this? See this? This is coming out, this and this and this and that. And I was like, you got to be kidding me, Becky.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's awesome.
You guys are on top of it, and I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Sometimes
Absolutely.
I wonder what the heck she's doing, but it's good to hear she's sending emails to our partners.
Oh, yeah, she definitely does. I know for sure I get at least 3 emails a week from Becky.
Oh, that's good.
And
that's good.
She's awesome. As always, and you are absolutely amazing. By the way, folks, if you have not seen the video that Eric put out today, please go take a look at it. If you're new to their channel, subscribe. And here is my guy right here.
Love it.
And the missus asked, do they make dog food? I said, no, they don't.
Only if you let them have it. I'm sure that dogs would love it too. And one thing that's interesting about dog food is, wow, they do a great job formulating that dog food so that your animals have all the nutrients that they need to live a very long, healthy life. And honestly, we're not dog food. We're far from it. Our food is delicious, chef-made recipes, handcrafted, small batches. Trust me, small batches, one at a time. But we have the same philosophy. We want to give humans what we need to sustain through these periods of difficulty. So that's why we pack ours with 40 essential nutrients, vitamins, minerals, amino acids, omega-3, omega-6, and fiber. We formulate the same way that the military insists that the food that they make for special operators is formulated. And we deliver on that 2.5 times because it's all about nutrient density. And that's why, because the most common thing we hear is, man, you guys are expensive. Well, you get what you pay for, okay? And ironically, if you eat that other stuff, nothing against it, but if you eat that other stuff, you're going to be lying dead under that tree while the guy that's got the nutrient survival trucks on by you. I'm just saying, okay? So, do yourself right. I always say I'm too poor to be cheap. You got to get quality because quality is what's going to get you through.
Absolutely. And folks, y'all know, I always say nutrient survival, if you just look at the ingredients that's in it, all of the vitamins and essentials and the omega-3s, I love the omega-3 bars. I bought a couple pantry packs, and I think everybody else in the family may have gotten one each.
There you go.
Because I eat them every day.
Me too.
That's the first thing I have in the morning.
I don't go a day without my oatmeal and my omega-3 bar, my vitamin coffee. Actually, I've been drinking some of the brain coffee that we have in the kitchen downstairs. But at any rate, nutrition is super important. And unfortunately, our diet today is not a good diet. So even if you're not thinking about survival food, emergency food, we make products that are formulated for everyday living too. Like that brain bar, that's not a survival food. That's not going to last 30 years. That is intended to be eaten today.
Yeah.
And it's delicious. It's got as much omega-3 as a fillet of salmon. In fact, I have one here. The lights just came on in my place. Here it is. This little bar has as much omega-3 as a fillet of salmon. Now you can go out and fish for salmon or go down the market and get salmon for, I don't know, $10, $15 a pound. Or just get one of these bars. These are about $2.70 or so. And it's loaded with all that omega. It's loaded with 40 essentials. It's loaded with protein. It has collagen in here for your skin and nails and hair. So this stuff is awesome. We have 2 flavors now, and we're going to make a big push of it. But this has nothing to do with surviving through an eventuality. This is about feeding your brain what it needs today so you can have a brain that lasts as long as your body does.
Absolutely. And folks, by the way, if you have an opportunity, go pick up a VP Get Home bag, folks. Throw it in your truck, throw it in the trunk of your car. It's loaded with Nutrient Survival's best-selling products. I bought 3 of them, and 2 of them are gone.
There you go. That's great to eat all the time.
Yeah. So Coffee asked, how long is the VP Live code good for?
Well, like I said, we're going to let people run with it until they're not coming through anymore. So I'd say probably for the next 3-4 days, and then we'll have to turn it off. But usually when these lives hit, traffic hits within a pretty tight window, 3 or 4 days. So that's enough time for folks, if they're serious about it, to get something in.
Absolutely. And folks, I'm going to put the link in the chat again so you can go and pick up something and get a chance to win your piece of freedom.
That's right. Now, Trent, the thing is, this isn't like the Mega Ball.
Right.
This is, thank you, Bobby. He just turned the lights off on me again. Looks much better that way. You have a legitimate chance to win. I think entries are going to be probably, I'd say 1 in 25,000, maybe less. And so you think about going off and buying lottery tickets and a shot to win $1 billion. You're not going to win that thing. I'm sorry. A very, 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 very low. Your odds are very poor, but you've got a legitimate shot. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. And if y'all don't want it, I'll take it. I'm going to tell you that now because I have my eye on 2 pieces of property that are adjacent to where we currently are. I would love to expand it and add some acreage to
You
it.
should. You should. You got Regional Sky Girl. How you doing?
Yep.
It's been a while. I miss you.
Yeah. She said, sitting here watching with my sister and surfing the Nutrient Survival website. She is amazed in a good way. There you
Right
go.
on. That's awesome. So you got a convert. Congratulations.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have to ask you this, Eric, because my evil twin in the chat is asking about it, and I have a stash, but he's asking, are you guys ever going to bring back the special ops rocks?
I wish that we could. So we will. I don't want to say never, but right now it is not on our agenda for a variety of reasons. But let me just suffice to say that they're discontinued for the foreseeable future. Those are delicious. There's lots of other great snacks out there. Those cookies are really good. The omega bars are awesome as well. But yeah, probably not for a while.
Yeah, I was sad, but the brain bars are just as good.
They are.
But the special ops rocks, the COO, when I gave her a pack of them, she was like, "Oh my God,
Yeah.
what are these?" I
But
said,
they're chocolate. Come on.
"Yeah," I said they're chocolate. Everybody on the planet should like chocolate.
That's it.
But so, how long does this contest run for, Eric?
Okay. So the contest runs through the end of September. So lots of opportunities to participate. But like I said, I think, your odds are probably going to be 1 in 25,000 or less.
Wow, that's amazing, folks. That's better.
That's it.
Than hitting the lottery.
No, it's way better. You kidding?
Way
Your odds
better.
are way better, right?
Yeah.
You know what? I need to go online and figure out what the equivalent odds of 1 in 25,000 are. That would be helpful for me, so I can make it even more real for people.
Right.
Yep.
Yes. It's going to be amazing, folks.
So the other day we were playing a little bit of Texas Hold'em at my house. Okay, we don't play with real money. We play with chips, and it's fun. It's entertaining. And what is it? The Royal Flush is the top hand, right?
Yes.
And I think the odds are 1 in 250,000 is a Royal Flush. And we've only started playing. And my wife gets a Royal Flush. Okay? So we've been playing for maybe under a week because it's sort of a new thing at my house. But she nails the Royal Flush. I mean, that's what we're talking about. This is your opportunity to win a piece of freedom. And like you said, it doesn't have to be, in another state or another location. It doesn't mean Colorado. It can be wherever you want. Just take advantage of it. Enter to win. No purchase necessary, of course. See those rules, how to do it the alternative way. The easiest way is, obviously, you just put an order in.
Right. Good to see you, Roaming Prepper. Hope you're doing well. Pete, thank you for stopping in as well. And that right there, you most contests that companies have, you have to purchase something. You just flat out put it out there. Read the contest rules. You don't have to buy anything to enter. So I need to go to the post office.
Load up on some stamps. Exactly.
Yeah, buy some stamps. But I'm not, because I love the product. I use the product. We eat the product on a regular basis. All I'm going to do is just make a couple extra orders a week. And
there you go. There you go. And if you're hearing about this sweepstakes, you're one of us. So whether you purchase or not, look, I don't care. We want to empower everybody to have a piece of freedom, and with that, enjoy what we as Americans are endowed by our Creator to enjoy, and that is our freedom on our property, our land, where we can do what we want to keep our family sustained.
Absolutely. And that's our God-given right, folks. That's how it was intended. And I'm not going to get into all of that because Eric put it very well in the video he dropped today. And you folks need to go take a look at it. And while you're over there, subscribe to Nutrient Survival's channel. Please do. And then enter and get a piece of freedom. Get your chance to win a piece of freedom. I don't care if it's down the road behind you. You're the neighbor that you don't like, buy his property. And
Love that. That's it. Buy them out.
Yeah. But folks, this is unprecedented. I'm going to say that. I've never heard of a contest like this, and I keep saying it because it's true. And it couldn't be a better company, and most of all, it couldn't be a better person doing this, folks. Eric is one of us. Period. End of story. He'll tell you that, and he won't, deny it. So with that, Eric, what time is it? 7:27. Final words from you. I'm gonna let you close us out because I'm in awe that you took the time to kick this off on my channel, and I truly appreciate you and Becky and your whole team and company.
Well, Trent, we share so many things in common.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts with a love of our Lord and Savior, certainly, and
Yes.
what we value as Americans, our families, our ability to sustain ourselves, self-reliance, those values,
Yes.
and freedom is the highest order for me, and it's why our company is built around this idea of feeding your freedom, so that you can break free from the way that big food, big pharma, big ag want us to eat. But we've taken that idea in so many different ways. And, like you said, if you don't know me already, you can go check me out. You're not going to see other CEOs of emergency food companies or food companies at all being as true and genuine. Because, I told my wife this the other day. I said, this has been the best job for me because I get to market to myself. I get to talk to myself. I believe in what we're doing. I believe in our mission, and I believe in these people. I love the YouTube communities because it's such an intimate way to get to know people. And so many of the folks that I recognize today popping up on your screen, like Oki Khan and Regional Sky Girl and Ghostling Khan, and I mean, everybody. So I just love them. And that's the greatest joy that I have, is to be able to do things like this to make their lives better. So thank you for having us. We appreciate your partnership. We appreciate your authenticity, your love for our company as well. Yes. And anything we can ever do for you, Trent, anything we can do for your company, your community, all you have to do is ask.
I appreciate that, Eric. And folks, with that, I want to thank everybody for stopping in tonight, because without y'all, there's no me. Although I'd be here talking to myself, and probably me and Eric would just be talking to each other. But you folks are what's important to me. And as we leave, as I always say, remember this: keep on prepping, because your family depends on you, and it depends on your life. This is Vision Preparedness. God bless everybody, and we will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Stay safe, and good night.
The time is now.